Hi, so I posted this Instagram video on my Instagram, obviously, called Ellie Ruined My Life. It's the same name as this YouTube channel. The reel that I post says, can someone tell me why Disney spent all that money to buy IP that the world resonated with only to fill it full of divisive political ideology that is only relevant in like California? Terrible business strategy. So it got a little bit of traction, a little bit of controversy that it stirred up. Yeah, so I thought that I would further elaborate on what exactly I mean by that because a lot of people were in the comments saying a whole bunch of rubbish. It's not just Disney. I feel like it's Hollywood in general have gone very, very political with their movies. It's all in one way. It's all liberal ideology. It's like it's hardcore in one direction. That's not good. Like the audience doesn't want that. They don't want to be lectured to. They don't want you to be condescendingly talking down at them and, finger wagging at their face saying, these are the morals that you have to adhere to. And this is the way that you should think. And this is how you should think. And if you don't think this way, then you're a bigot or you're prejudiced and all these different types of things. Give the audience something to think about. Don't tell them how to think. Don't tell them what to think. Don't tell them how to think. Give them something to think about. And a good writer would be able to sort of marry those two things, like make a movie that operates perfectly fine on one level, and then the subtext of it is something political that again isn't telling you the answers or telling you what to think or saying the way these films do. That if you're not liberal, basically you're a bigot, which is basically the thing. If you question it, then you're a bigot. Like you're not allowed to even question it. Like you're not allowed to have any criticisms of it. I've just been noticing that like with the liberal ideology, like you can't even question things. I saw somewhere somebody said something that was very poignant and I thought was very clever. Give me a question I can't answer, not an answer I can't question. Right? So it's like, give me a question that I can't answer. So it forces me to have to think about it. Don't give me an answer that I can't question. So I can't speculate. I can't have any doubts. I can't, question this and say, what does this mean? What is this for? But like, if you question it, they call you, if you have any criticism, like if you think differently, then defend it. We can engage on that level. I'm absolutely open to having conversations about things on that level. But if you're just gonna dismiss me as a bigot and prejudiced and homophobic and transphobic and racist, it's just you're reducing my argument down to that, and you're not even reducing my argument. You're not even engaging with my argument. The culture at the moment is like the left is the right way to think. They're correct. Like, why are you so certain of yourself? Shouldn't we be encouraging critical thinking, right? Like, think critically. I'm not left, right. I don't give a fuck. I'm just noticing that they're really like going in one direction with movies in a way that it hasn't felt like they've ever done before. And it's very odd. It's like, I don't know, the woke progressive sort of ideology. I'm like, why is every movie leaning this way? I've been just watching it and sort of trying to make sense of it. And I've been like, why are they doing this? A lot of them are not doing very well in the cinema. Like, people aren't like engaging with it. And I think it's for two reasons. One reason, the studios, because they're making a lot more expensive films, and this is just my theory, because they're making really expensive movies, they don't want to take the risk. So they're trying to be as safe as they can because the movie is so big and it needs to make back so much money. So they're trying to be as safe as they can, right? So they're hiring really shit writers who have no credits to their names, who have done nothing. And they're hiring really the same thing for the directors who have no credits to their names, have done nothing, but they're cheap. And they can be more easily controlled and sort of told what to do. And this is another thing that they're doing that I've noticed is like, they'll hire a black girl that made like one movie ever. And now she's in charge of this $200 million film when she made like one indie movie. And so they get to be like, she's going to be the first black woman to ever direct a Marvel movie. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about black people or gay people or any marginalized group. They don't give a fuck. She's cheap. That's why they're hiring her for the job. She's cheap. They can get her cheap. They can tell her what to do, and she won't bounce. She won't cause conflict because she needs that Disney money, right? She's an artist. She's trying to find work. She needs that Disney money. Again, they get the shield of like, this is a black woman directing the film, so you can't criticize it or else you're a racist. And it's like they get to operate on that political on that political level, and then they also get to again save a lot of money, which is really what they care about and is really their bottom line. These are corporations, they care about money. They don't give a fuck about your marginalized group. And I'll tell you something else. The only reason they're even pandering to the woke progressives in this way is because they think that the woke progressives represent change and represent the new world. So what they are trying to do is they're trying to associate themselves, right, with a group of people who represent change in the new world. And so that way they'll represent change in the new world. That's what they're trying to do. But in reality, none of you are representing change because none of you are advocating for change in any meaningful way. If we all can say that these corporations and institutions and systems are all broken, right? Then what does flying around a pride flag, what does that do for this to fix the problem? If the systems are broken, what does electing somebody who's like, I'm going to help gay people or black, what is that going to do? He's not telling you he's going to change the systems. He's not going to change the systems. Of course he's not going to change the systems. He benefits from them the way they are. So if we can all agree that the system, the corporations, the institutions, that they're the problem, that they're broken, then again, they're not trying to fix them. These corporations, Disney, Hollywood, they're not actually trying to fix that. They're trying to appear as if they represent change and they represent the new world, but they're not actually. And the way they do that is by, again, associating themselves with gays, trans, black, women, marginalized groups, oppressed. But you know what I mean? Like, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to, like, just by associating themselves, then you lot think that they stand for change, when in reality they don't want anything to change because they benefit from things being the way they are. So it's all superficial, it's all vapid, it's all fake. And so I'm like, well, then can we all be on together and demand for at least better movies? Like, if you're not gonna change anything, at least give me good movies. Like, at least give me good art. Like, if nothing's gonna change in terms of the systems and the institutions and things like that, fair enough, but at least give me good products, right? Like, that's the side I'm on. Yeah, I've been just noticing that, like, a lot of these companies sort of pandering to a certain political ideology, and I've been wondering, why are they doing that? And I think it's because of that. It's like, if we have a gay, non-binary, trans, lesbian, black woman representing our company, then the people will think that we don't have sweatshops in China or something, little Chinese children making fucking Nikes for $1 an hour. If our representatives are black, lesbian, trans, non-binary, gay women, then you'll think that we represent change and we represent the new world and we represent progress, but they don't. They're doing the same things. The institutions are the same. The systems are the same. Nothing has changed. Nothing is different. Whether you're voting left or right, you're voting the same thing. You're voting to keep the systems and the institutions exactly the same. So I'm like, I'm not for any of this. I don't buy into any of this rubbish, Like I said, just give me a better product. That's the side I'm on. I feel like these movies, we need to tell them, hey, we want better than this. We deserve better than this as moviegoers. And another thing that I want to touch on, I guess I'm just going to say everything that I'm thinking in my head in this video, even if it doesn't pertain to what the video was meant to be about in the first place. I've been wondering, right? Why as horror movies are always making profit. They always, like, you can make a horror movie for cheap and people fucking come to the theater to watch your horror movie and you make a lot of money. And I've been wondering, why is that? And I think the reason for that is because horror movies have kind of kept the promise between the movies, the genre, and the audience. Excuse me. Like, they've kept that relationship strong between the genre and its audience. Like, they know when I'm going to my horror movies, I'm going to get what I want to get out of my horror movie. And the director and the writers and the whatever, they deliver the promise and the relationship on the relationship between the audience and the genre. And I feel like it might be the only one that is kind of consistent with that. I'm jumping all over the place. I have no script or anything. I'm just sort of word vomiting at the moment. But with a lot of other genres, it seems to attract certain writers that want to subvert and deconstruct, and it's just cynicism, and they want to destroy what came before, which is very liberal, right? That's very woke and progressive. Because again, I've been thinking about this stuff. All right, I have genius level IQ. Okay, just try and keep up. mere mortal. Okay, try and keep up. I feel like conservatives want freedom within constraints, and then liberals want like freedom for them is like completely destroying everything and starting something new. Because in liberals, right, they don't feel like there's anything to be gained from looking at traditions and culture in the past. Just destroy it all and start new. We're gonna do better. We're gonna do something better. We're like break it all down, start something different, start something new. And conservatives are like, fuck no. There's so much good in our traditions. That's why they're our traditions. That's why they've lasted this long. It's because there's something, there's good, a lot of good in them, and don't throw the baby out with the bathwater sort of thing. And the reason I bring that up is because when you look at the movies nowadays, a lot of movies are all about deconstruction, cynicism, subversions. It's like, why is it doing this? It's the liberal ideology. It's the impact it's been having. It's like subversion, deconstruction. What is that? That's that liberal ideology. Destroy the past. Forget the past. Kill it if you have to. Something different. Something, and it's always cynical. It's always pessimism and cynicism. Am I wrong? I feel like I'm right about that. Like that's liberal as fuck, right? Like the deconstruction, the subversions, and then you get something like Top Gun that gives you the classic sort of, the classic themes and the triumphant heroic journey and things like that. And it just gives you the classic traditional sort of storytelling and themes. It makes $1 billion, fills people up with hope and optimism, and it does well. It gives people the conventions and the tropes, but that's what they like. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about horror movies. Horror movies give people the tropes and the conventions, and that's why they always make money in the box office, because they've been able to keep that relationship with the audience, right? Whereas the audience comes to watch like the heroic journey and go out on top, and evil loses and good prevails, and then they're getting subverted and deconstructed by some fucking hack writer who thinks he's a fucking genius, but he's really a moron. Why are you so sure of yourself? Allow for a differing of opinions. Don't be so quick to shut everybody down that doesn't agree with you. This is basic stuff. You're making my stupid ass feel like a genius for saying this. This is general knowledge. Come on, how do you know if your argument is even holds any weight, if you're not allowing any sort of opposition, if you're not testing it and challenging it, your own opinions? And they're not even your opinions. You didn't even arrive to the conclusion yourself. You didn't form these opinions yourself. You were spoon-fed this ideology. Fucking spoon-fed it. They didn't think their way into this, so they can't think their way out of it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not conservative. I'm not right. I'm not left. I'm not centrist either, because I feel like that's pussy as fuck to call yourself a centrist. I'm not a centrist, but I'm just somebody who believes in critical thinking, and I think that that's something that's completely dead for us nowadays. And yeah, this is already a very long video, and yeah, let's talk about it though. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Let's have the conversations. I have a lot of opinions and a lot of ideas that have been swirling around in my mind. My own ideas, by the way, right? I'm coming to this by myself. I'm not a fucking robot running on a set of algorithms. If presented with this, respond with this. That's you fucks. I'm actually like thinking for myself. You should try it. Yeah.